It is time for your Win podcast for super busy professionals sharing transformational moments. Your host, Chu Tang.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Your Win Podcast. Today, I have my special guest, Sam. Welcome, Sam.
For having me too.
So, Sam, I only have one question on this podcast, which makes it really easy. So, could you think of a transformational moment in your life that something happened and then it changed your life forever from that point on?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that comes to me is when I was recommended to read a book on leadership, and I was still new in leadership, maybe had been a leader for about 2 years, and bumps and bruises, learning along the way. But this moment is when I read a book called Leadership and Self-Deception, and it said like it is impossible to care about people without being genuinely interested. And why that struck me as a light bulb moment and may actually catch a few people off guard in hearing me relate it is that I'm quite a sympathetic and empathizing person naturally. I'm very sensitive. But where I realized I was lacking is I tried so hard to project the image of being sensitive and caring, and I would replay conversations with my reports like, wow, did they feel like I really cared about them? Did they felt like I heard enough? And it was like I was putting on this projection or front. But that simple truth from the book, which was that light bulb moment, as you said, was just like, you just have to genuinely be interested in people. You don't have to, use these phrases too often. You don't have to put up the fronts. And once I switched to that mode, I expended a lot less energy consciously, and instead just found my mind went to, management styles like, oh, I wonder what interests them, what motivates them, and then how can we better work together? And I asked people a lot of questions, questions on their personal life, questions about what they like. And it was from a genuine point of interest that transformed my working relationships. But, what everyone also likes to hear required a lot less energy. So it was a pivotal moment, and it was really amazing. I still keep making lots of mistakes, but just a great moment, a great discovery.
So did anyone notice the change?
Yes. I mean, people, for one, I was a lot less stressed in conversations. They could tell that right away. And I got this feedback from people who reported to me. They just said, wow, it's just a lot easier. But new people who joined, I found the start of relationships with people who joined the team was just a lot easier. They were just like, wow, they commented to their peers, I'm really amazed that someone actually asked me about me. Whereas before I kind of, it sounds terrible, but I had a checklist, make sure to ask them about this, about that, because I really wanted them to feel, loved or cared about. I didn't need the checklists anymore. And yeah, definitely it came back. We also had, every company runs those scores, not quite NPS, but, HR runs these. And consistently at the company, we're rated as one of the most high performing teams in the company as far as these kind of bonds of cohesion, and they felt, unified purpose, and they had a manager who cared about them. So,
wow. Yeah, I remember when I asked you something about one of your team members, you said, oh, go ask them. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. That's probably me trying to build relationships. But I mean, there's so many other cool things to talk about. One is the leader principle, where we try to really move away from this, manager being the leader of the team and everyone kind of follows. Because to me, the math is wrong. You only have one brain in the room and everyone's just following. But the leader principle turns into where everyone has areas of expertise, and all you need to do as a leader is maintain that cohesion and direction. So yeah, that probably relates to that.
Wow, wonderful. So could you see how this could also apply to your personal life?
Yes. So there's people I still meet, make new friends and things like that. And I think I have dropped my guard in trying to project this image of who I am. I'm much more willing to make mistakes, to let my real self out, because as long as I just find that curiosity with people, I mean, people love to talk about themselves, and it's very common to find areas of common interest with people. So if you start those discussions with new people and just say, oh, are you interested in this? Oh, do you like this? Oh, I noticed you looking at this. Is this what you were interested in? It comes from that place of discovery. of
Mm.
being curious about someone. And people drop their shields very quickly, when they
Right,
realize you're not like trying to pretend, you're not trying to be perfect, but ask
right,
the right
right,
questions. I think
right.
we're so people, just like they say animals are, we're
Mm.
really good at the subconscious judge of character and whether people are tense around us. You know how they say like dogs sense fear. I think we do that with other people,
Yeah,
and they can just tell. Maybe it's like the pupils in your eyes or your pulse or breathing rate. When
yeah,
it changes and you're comfortable just being
yeah.
yourself, then they start being comfortable as well, with the right questions, right? So
Yeah. Well, when we were colleagues, I feel really comfortable working with you, and yeah. So I guess that was already after you become curious, right? I didn't get to meet you before that, right? Or was that you?
possibly, yeah. But I've always find you a really fascinating person, so I don't think it required that much effort and like really amazing. I mean, and to be honest, I didn't plumb the depths. There were probably so many more stories and questions I could have asked you, but it still was very interesting, our engagement.
Oh, cool. Thank you so much. Yeah. So if you guys like this episode, come back, and until then, stay happy and hopeful. Thank you, Sam.
Very, my pleasure. Thank you.
So what do you think of the podcast format? Did you like it?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I'm quite interested in going back and listening to some of the ones I might have missed. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So I have a random question, because I promised one question for the podcast, but this one is a surprise.
Hit me.
So do you have a favorite movie?
Tricky one. I mean, over the years, there's movies I've been like, yeah, this is my all-time favorite movie. But we change through the years, as we all know. Like one of the ones that I held on to for the longest time and still really liked was Forrest Gump. I just felt the
Oh,
cinematography. It was so much comedy. There was definite
yeah,
drama. Obviously, there was a love story,
yeah,
and I love Tom Hanks. But through that, I mean, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, that kind of sci-fi fantasy definitely holds me.
yeah.
I think some of the ones like Memento, the ones that are very cleverly done, Sixth Sense, there's that type of appreciation as well for when the producer or director gets to kind of hoodwink you into something.
I
But like
know, I
if
know.
maybe if the question was to take only one movie with me to
Yeah,
watch for eternity
yeah,
into
yeah,
outer
yeah,
space,
yeah.
that I might say the Lord of the Rings trilogy, not the Hobbit,
Oh,
Lord of the Rings, because I feel the
yeah,
epic scale, the landscape, the different characters.
yeah,
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 love that.
yeah. Cool, cool, cool. I love Forrest Gump too, because I still remember one Friday night, my younger brother, usually we don't watch movie together, right? And then he will say, "Hey sis, let's go check out this movie of Tom Hanks." And I say, "Okay." So I didn't know anything about it. Yeah.
Great, that's the
And
best way. Yeah.
yeah, and I was like, "Oh my God."
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. And maybe part of the film, I'm not sure, it's been a while since I really reflected on it, but
Yeah,
he goes through life actually with a very simple mindset. And
yeah,
maybe a lot of us crave that simplicity, again, with the facades and the different
yeah,
stages we go through. He just kind of loved people and he picked people out and just
yeah,
accepted
yeah.
people. And at least the movie's narrative shows that worked out for him. And a lot of us want the same thing to happen for us. So,
Right,
yeah.
right. And then there's a restaurant called Bubblegum Shrimp.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because of that. And I actually bought the sign that say
No
Forest
way.
Run, Forest. I didn't know you're going to talk about Forest Gump. It's downstairs. Too hard to go get it now. But it's a sign that Forest
Good.
Run.
Ties into my life. I run a fair bit now for my exercise. One of the few
Oh,
things I
okay.
do just to, because otherwise we're sitting at our computers all day, at least I
Right,
am.
right, right.
And I was running in the neighborhood and some guy was in his garage and he yelled out, "Run, Forrest." I thought it was great. I loved it. Yeah. He
Cool.
had a beer in his hand and I think he was just enjoying the moment that he could relax and
Yes,
watch someone
yes.
else run. But yeah.
And then the chocolate, right? You don't know what you
Oh,
get, the chocolate.
yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And yeah, I mean, it's so true for life, isn't it? And his life
Mhm.
obviously had so many adventures. But I think I remember watching it when I was quite a bit younger, not like teens, but I
Mhm.
think it gave me a bit of hope for life. Life has these weird
Mm.
experiences and twists and turns, and
Yeah,
that's just life. That's part of a rich life, isn't it? And I
yeah.
remember like being able to look forward to a lot of things with that mindset, just
Oh.
eager anticipation. So
Oh, so cool. Thank you, Steph. Yeah, I maybe when you're not too busy, I'll have you come back and we'll talk about other subject.
sounds good. No, pleasure. You're a great host.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and share. See you soon at Your Win Podcast.